I'm about to check out these rod bearings since keep getting one of my spark plugs mashed. So I'm gonna jack it up and then take the wheels off. Alright, now I got this whole levitating, so I'm gonna take off the wheels and then next I'm gonna unplug the battery. Now I'm gonna pop the hood and see if I could finagle this engine support bar on there. I don't really want to take off the supercharger, but I just might. Well, I'm actually not gonna put it on the supercharger. I'm gonna just let it hold up by this one rod. Hopefully it'll be enough. Oh well. Now I'm gonna crawl up under there, take the belly pan off. To get this belly pan off, there's 7 bolts and they're 16mm. Alright, got the belly pan off. Now I'm gonna start taking stuff off on this driver's side, and then I'm gonna go to the passenger side. I'm gonna start with the tie rods and work my way around. Because you gotta take out your tie rods and the steering rack, make sure your wheel is straight or your alignment will be jacked up. Alright, got the subframe out. I just unbolted these 3 from the steering knuckle on both sides, but on the driver's side, there's this little module thing, and I think that's for whenever you turn the wheel, the headlights will turn with it. And then there's one for the power steering pump. These 2 are 2 different sizes. I think it's a 19 and a 21 or a 22. And there's a washer on both sides. This is a E10 to get the steering rack off. And it's a whole bunch of little 10mm bolts that holds stuff together. And there's 4 subframe bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this is a different size for the motor mount. You just take it out from the bottom. I think that one's a 16, and I think those are 19s. And I also disconnected the sway bar from the chassis. Next, I'm gonna drain all the oil, put it in this bucket, and then wait about 30 minutes. Take a lunch break at this point, and then after that, you can go ahead and unbolt the oil pan. And I believe if you have this T30, whatever this is called, star bit key, you can unbolt all the oil pan bolts. Also, you need a bucket to catch all your steering fluid, and have some towels on standby because it's going to make a big mess. First, I'm going to do this back one, let all that drain out, and then I'm going to go to the one in the front, let all that drain out. These T25 keys, no, T27, if it's in there, perfect. And my motor mounts look done though, so I'm going to order some new motor mounts, rod bearings, oil pan gasket. Alright, just got the oil pan off. You got 2 bolts on this side in the transmission and 2 on the other side you got to take out. Then it's a whole bunch of T27 bolts, like a whole lot you got to take out. You also need a 14mm socket to take off this tensioner for the AC belt. And then it's a bracket that this is connected to right about here. This one, that's where the tensioner was connected to. And this bracket, those are T37s, no, T27s. 4 of those are kind of a pain, but you'll get it. Then after you get all those out, you can get the oil pan out. Well, bearing is definitely on its way out. And this is the top one. The bottom one is damn near the same, but not as bad. It's been a few days, so I got some new bearings and some bolts. And this is the cylinder that was giving me the problem. This bank here, first one up front. So I guess cylinder 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was acting stupid. Hopefully after I change these bearings out, might be a little bit better. The crank doesn't look bad, so I'm gonna just swap them all out and hopefully it works. Also, to get these out, you're gonna need a 12.12mm socket. Alright, just swapped the rod bearings out. Got the new oil pan gasket on. Cleaned it off first. And let's go check these bearings out. So these are the front. They don't look awful. But the next ones and further back, just trashed. Tops were worse than the bottom. Back three, these by far were the worst. They were actually kind of stuck on the crank. Had to get a screwdriver and pry them off. But, yep, this one is a 2008. So I guess I got those copper bearings. And here's what the bottom looked like. This looks like the worst one. Well, at least it still starts, or I hope it will. Got the new bearings and bolts. I'll probably link them in the description. And you torque these down to 50 foot-pounds. If you use the stock ones, you got to order new ones, and it's like some 3 sequence you got to use, and I'm not doing all that. So we're just going to torque it down to 50 foot-pounds. Also, you might as well swap your motor mounts while you're in there. Mine are kind of trash. Mine's like 148,000, but yeah. Motor mounts are 16 millimeter bolt, and this is definitely toasted. Alright, to get the pickup tubes on, there's one on each tube. There's 2 of them. Those are T30, and then it's like 5 bolts that hold a bracket on. Those are T30, and then 3 of them are 10 millimeters. You put it on that, then you get the oil pan on. Got about 30 of them things. All the short ones go up front, except for there's 2 long ones right about here in the front. Actually, I can show you. Those 2 right there are long in the front. Yeah, those 2. All the other ones are short. T30, those are long. This back one to hold the subframe up is a 16, and the other 3 are 19s, and then the motor mount is 16. For the tie rods and whatnot, those are 19s, 16 and a 17 on this sway bar. Think that's it. Yeah, plug up your oil pan sensor. There's a sensor at the bottom of the steering rack right there. Then your headlight for whenever you turn your wheel. And there's an E12. That one is right up in there to get to right where that little notch is. It's a bolt. It's an E12, and you can hit your power steering rack with it to get it back on. It's right there. And that's about it. I forgot, you also got 4 bolts back here. That's in your transmission. Alright, I just added oil and power steering fluid. Now I'm about to prime the engine, and then I'm going to start it up. Now I'm going to plug the injectors in, and it should fire up.